The first question was this one's an interesting one. It's about you get the game's lore. Specifically, they're asking about what the writing lore aspect of things is kind of like for you guys. Do you have just one person kind of coming up with like drafting the actual idea, or is it more of a group thing?
I wish. It's a super group thing, and there's like crazy drama about it internally because like everybody fights for like their piece of the lore.
Yeah, so I definitely understand.
It's a lot of people. It's gone through what do you call it? Like a lot of different
revisions.
Iterations.
Yeah,
and it's still changing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something interesting that as you guys grow and whatever, I'm sure that the lore is going to get a lot bigger. So I'm guessing this question is kind of asking about that whole aspect and if you guys have a bit of a plan there or not.
The creative director is ultimately responsible for it now. But before him, we had another creative director. So you could say that like initially the lore was created by Ood.
Mm-hmm.
And then after Ood, the lore went through a update process with the second creative director, or with the first creative director, sorry. And then we hired a guy that actually is a half brother of ours. It's like a crazy writer, and he like super polished it and made it like the craziest, like too many pages to count lore document book. And then from there, it went to a full team meeting where like everybody wanted to update it together, and we spent like a month on it. And then it went back to the new creative director, Hold My Shields, and now it's Hold My Shields and a lot of people on the art team, mainly people like AXA, Toby, OX Hazy. So it's just gone through a lot of. It's like I could say at its core, it's always been the same. It's really just about these two factions. One faction being the colonists, one being the Rayab. The Rayabs have always been like controlled by a large government here on Earth, and the colonists have just wanted to kind of leave Earth and like go explore the universe and like kind of like progress, you could say. That's like the core of it, but it's just gone through like many iterations of like updates and where it's heading. It's like all the new maps, like every new map, every new weapon, everything that we add has to like find its place in the world, and that's when it kind of creates these like conversations over again.
Right. I will say that a lot of the care put into that is very cool. Like the prestige lore blurbs are always the very
so that's AXA and the creative director. Like they crushed it.
Yeah. Give those guys kudos for me.
I will.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's probably very. I imagine it'll probably still go through plenty of changes before you eventually land on the whole more lore-based campaign type mode.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one.
I'm sure.
It's going to be interesting. I'm excited. I feel like once we actually get to like the campaign, it's going to be a good time to like kind of like solidify everything. So I'm happy we haven't done the campaign yet because it gives us more room to continue tweaking and polishing.
Oh yeah, I love that fact. You guys are taking your time and not rushing stuff.
Yeah, we're just working on it a little bit every day. As long as it takes, we're gonna be here.
Yeah, it's always a cool thing. The next question is more based on aim training. So the question is there going to be more aim training sections in the armory? So is there going to be more ways to practice your aim and different things in the future at some point?
Yeah, the next big thing that we want to do is we just want to add like mini games, like proper leaderboards and mini games for aim training. So every single weapon is going to have its own unique aim trainer, like down the range. It's not, how right now you just shoot the range and it's just random, or you can shoot like these random circles and get points, but like each weapon needs its own, obviously, because each weapon acts differently, and it's not fair to get a high score with like, I don't know, an M4 and like a pistol, right? So now that we have the social hub done, we definitely want to add like a proper aim trainer mini game with a leaderboard for each weapon. We want it to be like, bronze, gold, and silver and things like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I know
Yeah.
exactly which gun I'm going to be going for first. Waited so long for the revolver, and now it's here, and I've been doing nothing but playing with it. So yeah, I think that's a really cool idea. Like a lot of the stuff you guys come up with. You guys talked about doing a full rework of like the meta and all that. So changing how a lot of the guns fit into, like changing the damage and all that.
Yeah, so Crazy Ivan is responsible for like updating all the balancing changes and the TTKs, and he's like the weapons guy, so he's responsible for like finding the personality of each weapon. But I'm not really like that involved in the weapons. I just complain if things feel weird.
Yeah, I love Ivan. Genuinely has a lot of care for the guns, and the few times I've ran into him in game and in the testing branch, it's always been fun talking to him about guns. Yeah, so there might be a bit of a rework with how some of the guns might function sometime in the future. Is that?
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
One of the things that I've been pushing for is just like you need to have like a higher TTK so that you can have more variety and personality for weapons. Like when the TTK is so low, every gun is like a one-shot headshot basically, so it makes it very difficult to like find new places to fit weapons. So we're going to slowly increase the time to kill, and like now that we have tacticals and a couple other things, yeah, like we definitely need more.
Right, yeah. And I'm sure that'll be helpful for when the extraction mode comes out too.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so the next one up is it's relating to the challenges system and different things like that. So the question revolves around essentially, do you guys have actual 100% idea for how the challenges are going to work and like what the rewards are going to be?
No, that's AXA and Panda and Hold My Shields. They showed me a couple snippets of like what they're thinking. Right now, what I remember is they're planning daily and weekly challenges. But some of them are really funny. Like one that I saw is like go pet Carl in here. Another one was like, get some knife kills while jumping. Like, I don't know. They're just like trying to make like people do trick shots basically, just to make it like interesting and challenging to unlock stuff.
Challenges are meant to be challenging, of course, while also still kind of being fun. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they implement that how you guys all implement that system in the future whenever that's all ready.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people that are going to be excited for that. But yeah, that leads me into the next point of, do you have any plans for like daily login rewards or anything like that?
Yeah, we actually came up with like this really cool system where he's basically making it like a daily gel collection credit or something like for logging in, just because he wanted to make some lore where the lore is like, every day that you come to like the Citadel or whatever, you get to collect some form of credit as like your stipend for being a citizen of Vail.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so do you guys have any plans for like a new player queue or anything like that for like onboarding? So when the new guys are coming, or new guys or gals,
tutorial, or what do you mean?
Like a sort of, yeah, of course, like a tutorial, but after that, maybe like say for the first couple levels, you get into bot lobbies or something, so you can kind of learn how the modes play or whatever.
Eventually, yeah. I think now that we're getting into the extraction, we're actually working on bots right now as we speak. Like once we have the bot logic figured out, I definitely want to have like the first 3 matches or something like be, with bots, just so people could like kind of get their bearings. Like you have to like do 3 practice rounds before you actually play a real live match, so you don't get pub stomped.
Yeah, that would definitely help with a lot of the new players hopping in the future. That also has a second side, with the artifact queue now being a thing. Do you guys still have the plans for eventually making a ranked queue?
We actually added the artifact only mode, and we're just starting now to collect data on it. And we have a third party that's helping us with like the MMR matchmaking system. We just need to make sure that we have enough people to be able to do it properly. And then we're also trying to figure out, not trying to figure out, we're working on basically making it so you can be inside of a server like the social hub, and then be inside of a matchmaking queue for ranked. So you're not like waiting in the armory by yourself for maybe for like 10, 15, 20 minutes, depending if it takes a little bit longer.
I love that idea.
Yeah, it's just funny because like we didn't think about it. So like technically you're not allowed to matchmake when you're already in a server. Because like why would you be matchmaking when you're playing team deathmatch? But the social hub kind of counts as a server. So now we have to like rework the logic to make it work that way.
Right. I mean, that would certainly, I think that would certainly work a lot better than just sitting in the Citadel or Armory for indefinite amount of time, just messing around. You can actually be in an actual game playing, warming up with your actual loadout. Okay. Next question revolves around guns. Do you have a gun that's like a favorite of yours that you haven't gotten added yet?
It's not in the game?
Yeah.
I just really want a light machine gun and a rocket launcher because I just feel like those are going to be 2 really fun guns in VR. Those are like the 2 main things that I'm pushing for. I'm not really like a gun nerd like the way that most people on the team are. Like they literally know the history of every single gun and like all these crazy things. I'm more of just like a general gamer. So like I just want an RPG and an LMG. Like we got the revolver, which I ever, and I am proud. They did a really good job on the revolver. Took a little bit longer than wanted, but they did a good job. I want RPG, LMG, and then I also asked for a riot shield as well.
Okay, so that begs a question. How would you want the riot shield to work?
I don't even try to get into game design things because it's just complicated. I just kind of say like things that I want, and I let the team figure it out, and then I test it. And then if I test it and it works, I'm happy. Because like a lot of times, like I think of something, and then someone else comes up with like a way better way than me. So I don't even try to taint anybody's opinion. Like I just let them do what they think, and then if it's good or better, great. If it's really bad, then then I actually like get in there and like kind of say like what I was thinking.
Right. Yeah. I know riot shields do have a bit of a weird history in a lot of games because a lot of sketchy tactics are used with them. But I honestly, as long as there's good ways to counter them, I don't really have a problem with them. They just need to have a counter because otherwise it's
annoying.
Yeah. I mean, it would significantly change certain pushes, like coming up the catwalk on Suna. You could put a riot shield up instead of trying to peek out when there's guys behind the sandbags or whatever. But yeah, that's interesting one. Next question revolves around the store. Are you guys planning on having a gifting system for skins and maybe gel?
Yeah, 100%. That's something that is actually being worked on right now by one of our backend engineers. Yeah, I want people to be able to gift things to friends, like on their friends list.
Yeah, might be great for content creators too. They can do like giveaways of the new skins in the shop or something.
Yeah.
That brings me to your extraction mode. I'm guessing you can't really talk a lot about it, but
No, I mean, good. It's very like I'm only involved high level, so like I'll tell you anything I know.
Ah, so do you guys have like a? Trying to think the best way to word this again. It's are you guys going for more of a casual extraction mode or more of a hardcore, more like Ghost of War one?
No, it's gonna be casual, but like if you die, you lose everything. You
Right.
know, I just don't think. I think VR is for most people a casual thing in the sense of like most people on PC or console can play 4, 5, 6 hours a day. But in VR, it's not as easy to play 4, 5, 6 hours every single day. And we have data to prove that most VR users will play twice a week for like 2 to 4 hours. So it's like a lot less playtime than a traditional system. So like we just don't want to make it so grindy where like you need to put in, hundreds of hours every single wipe to even be able to compete. Like we want to reward skill, and like it shouldn't just be rewarding grinding, because it makes people that can't spend that much time not want to play.
You got to do what you got to do, right?
We're working on it.
Yep. So, okay. Next question kind of revolves, kind of going alongside the whole extraction thing is with that mindset kind of in mind, are you guys, do you guys have like a unique style of flavor you guys are hoping to implement to it, kind of like a lot of your other game modes?
Just in general for other game modes?
A lot of the extraction shooters are starting to kind of feel a bit samey. That's some of the concerns I've seen from a lot of people, is the fact that they're worried that this extraction shooter is just going to be a lot like a lot of the other ones. And so the question is it going to try to have its own unique style to kind of differentiate itself from the other?
Yeah, the main thing that we're working on that I think is going to be really interesting is, how you have the armory?
Yeah.
So like the player experience in Vail, now that we're going to be able to connect the social hub, the extraction, the multiplayer, eventually the battle royale, eventually the co-op wave shooter, like all these things, is when you go into the extraction game mode, you're going to be able to collect things that you'll then be able to actually deck your armory out with. So like you're going to want to make a really cool armory, and then you're actually going to be able to invite people to your armory as well. So like you're going to be able to invite, like you're going to be in the Citadel, you're going to be able to meet people. You can either invite them to your party and then go to the extraction mode from the Citadel, or you're going to be able to go to your bunker and be like, hey, check out my bunker. You're going to be able to hand potentially your experienced player, and you have some noobs with you. You can give them weapons. You can give them armor, gear, etc., and then leave from your bunker as the party host out there. So I really just want to have this sense of, when you're out in the wild with, a squad or by yourself, everything that you're fighting for, it's to bring it back to your armory that you can then share with your friends or show off. So it's not going to feel like pointless. Like you're going to want to like have the dopest crib and have people check it out.
That's cool, man.
I just think that VR, like that's just something about VR that I'm excited about. Like, how Oculus has like the Oculus Home?
Yeah.
Like I just want to be able to have that type of experience, but like Vail, Vail art style. Like I just think it's cool. Like that's one of the things that I think VR hasn't like fully done yet. Like you want to have a bunker that you can show off to your friends. And we're definitely going to, now that the social hub is like good, obviously there's a lot more to do. We need to redo the entire armory and like really make it a bunker.
Oh yeah. I know there's
like I wanted to be able to showcase all skins. Like right now you can only show off one skin, like the skin that you're wearing basically.
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to show off all the skins, kind of like almost like a museum fashion. I want to be able to show off like crazy loot that like was earned or unlocked or, fought for. Like I want to be able to have like a cool bunker. Like I just think that's going to be one of the most important things. Eventually I want to be able to add pets, aliens, to the bunker that you can like take care of and like do things with. I just want to make like a real world, like a full, like almost like an MMORPG, but like shooter version.
So like a MMO FPS or something?
Kind of, yeah. Like one of my biggest inspirations is like Destiny.
Yeah. A lot of the concepts made by Destiny and Other games like that have always been an interesting idea. They just it just doesn't feel the same as VR, which is what you guys have for like the leg up.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. I know there's been plenty of feedback threads in the Vail server about the bunker and wanting like a colonist version or being able to change where it is instead of in the middle of the desert. So I'm curious to see what you guys end up doing with that whole situation and where you guys go.
Yeah, the creative director, he's starting it. I'm excited. I think he's gonna do a good job.
He usually does.
Everything he does is pretty good.
Leads me into next kind of point is how many like different modes or experiences are you kind of planning on having with the whole Vail VR? Or is it just going to be your normal basic multiplayer extraction, all that, or is that
keep going? Gonna keep going, brother. I don't have like a goal where I'm like, oh, this is done. I just want to keep building. VR's so early that there's just so much to do. Like there's just so much to do. So there's just so much to add. I don't know. There's like almost infinite things that we can do to the game.
Yeah, kind of gives the feeling of a headquarters of everything.
Sorry, one more time.
It gives that feeling of a uniform, like headquarters of everything and whatever. I know that's exactly what Call of Duty's trying to do with the COD HQ, and I think Ubisoft is trying to do with their Assassin's Creed hub and all this other stuff. Is they're trying to get everything all in one kind of sort of pseudo platform, so then you can go from there into your different experiences and games.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just like, when you have a cool game and people like it and you have a really fun community, I just feel like there's just so many things you can do. And back then you'd make one game a year and ship it, but now with like multiplayer live service things, you can kind of keep going forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's one of the neat parts about it is all that. And I'm sure as VR keeps growing, Vail VR will probably be one of the juggernauts in the VR space.
I hope so. The bigger we get, the more people we can hire, the more stuff we can do. It's just exciting,
Oh yeah, it certainly is. Seeing how you guys grow and all that, being able to be there, seeing it is a cool thing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It kind of is almost like if you were there for the signing of the Constitution or whatever, except gaming.
Yeah, 10, 20 years from now, it's going to be wild.
Yeah, it's going to be like, you're going to talk to your kids and be like, I was there. You guys are kind of planning on keeping the game a little bit more uniform and not trying to separate the player base into different games altogether.
Under one roof. I think that's important, 100%.
Yeah,
like you hit it right on the head. I think it's super important. VR is already small enough. Like I don't think you need to be splitting your player bases.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I want like one major world. Like you have your house, you got your social area, you got all the different places you can go within the world. It's just funny because like a lot of people complain. They're like, oh, Vail's 10 gigabytes. Every other VR game's 500 megabytes. Right? And it's like, dude, get ready for like those 200-300 gigabyte Call of Duty download sizes in 10 years by the time we're done with this. Like there's so much to add.
Yeah, I think VR headsets are going to need to get some upgrades.
Downloading on the VR headset's annoying. You gotta like wait in VR, like just while it downloads. Pretty whack.
Yeah,
but it will all get better.
Oh yeah, you guys have already done a ton with optimizing the game, so
yeah.
This game gives very heavy. Although there's a lot of comparisons with like CS:GO and everything, I've always found a more apt comparison being the old Halos and CODs because in a lot of ways it kind of mirrors it with how it's kind of formed and all that. It's like a first of its kind for this specific type of game, which is VR. And so I feel like I don't think there has been many games that have had full leveling experience with prestige and all that in VR quite yet.
It's so crazy, right? Like just doing like basic things is like a miracle these days in VR, but we'll get there.
Oh yeah.
We'll get there.
One of those things where eventually you guys will look back and be like, was it really that simple back then? The last couple of questions are kind of like what I was talking about at the very beginning. So kind of as a CEO of a VR game dev company, and you kind of being of the position you're in, what kind of is that like as a like administrator of a game studio?
Sorry. What's the question? Is the question like, what's it like just like running a VR game studio?
Yeah.
It's fun. Every day is different. It's extremely stressful because game development in general is hard. But primarily, what I'm focused on is just, there's like all these different teams like art, graphics, programming, sound, QA, esports, marketing, content, all this stuff. And my goal is just to talk to everybody and basically connect everybody and make sure that everybody's like on the same page so that, everything just looks like cohesive, basically.
Yeah.
So like, I don't really do anything other than just kind of like, connect everybody and make sure everybody talks to each other.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, then like, everybody's doing random things and then it all doesn't work.
Right. You want to keep people from falling apart.
Yeah. Just like we lose a lot of time if people aren't constantly communicating. So my job is just to make sure everybody communicates with each other all day.
Yeah.
So it's like not really that fun. And I also deal with like the accounting and the legal stuff and the investor relations stuff. And I do everything that needs to be done to make sure that the artists and the programmers can work in peace.
Yeah, that's certainly a good thing. You're kind of like the team captain of a sports team.
Yeah, like team captain, you can say quarterback, like, I just support everybody. Like my job is to support everybody so they can do their best work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the last question I have for you is what's kind of the biggest mistake that you could probably make as a CEO?
The biggest mistake I ever made was not going onto Quest faster.
Mm-hmm.
Quest is literally like 95% of all our money and players and everything. And I'm in VR, bro, since like PC VR day one, right? So to me, like I never got it. Now, honestly, I don't even use an index anymore. I only use Quest. Now I'm like, oh wow, like I should have done this a lot long. It's just so convenient. And obviously, when the Quest 1 came out, it was like whatever. The Quest 2 was good. The Quest 3 is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah, it's great.
So that's my biggest mistake, just not seeing the Quest thing way sooner.
Yeah,
and it's kind of sad. Like even PlayStation and Pico, like I thought they'd all have their place. Steam too, but the truth is, Steam VR just hasn't grown. Pico's like, I don't even know what the hell's happening with Pico, and PlayStation seems like they've announced seems like they don't even care about it. So it's like weird.
Yeah.
I actually really thought Sony would be way bigger than where they're at right now. So it's just kind of sad.
Oh yeah.
But I'm very grateful to Meta and Mark Zuckerberg for continuing to see through the vision and pushing.
Yeah, I doubt Sony will really care until Microsoft or Nintendo or something really full sends into it themselves, which would cause that friendly competition that they're always about. But
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
If I have any more questions that are kind of about that, do you mind if I reach out?
Brother, of course. You can hit me up whenever you want. My pleasure.
Yeah, and likewise, if you guys need anything or whatever, don't hesitate to let me know.
You're not only an amazing warrior, but an amazing person. So anything I can do, you let me know.
Yeah, likewise.
All right, thank you, brother. Let me know if I'm here. Thank you.
All right. You have a nice day.
Talk to you. You too, brother. Bye.